The West was a land of extremes. Scorching days gave way to freezing nights. Wind howled across mesas and canyons, and the law was little more than a whispered rumor. Townsfolk huddled behind wooden shutters as outlaws roamed freely, striking fear into every heart. And yet, in the shadows of this unforgiving land, there moved a figure whose presence was whispered in both awe and dread, the ghost of Red Mesa. To the townsfolk, he was a myth, a shadow, a man who punished the wicked with a deadly precision no one could match. But beneath the mask, hidden from the world, was Gideon Cross. Once a prosperous rancher, he had lost everything to a gang of ruthless men who burned his home and murdered his family. Since that day, he had lived only for justice and vengeance, roaming the mesas, protecting the helpless, and never allowing himself to love again. Until he met Alara James. Alara James was no ordinary woman, the innkeeper's daughter. She was intelligent, resourceful, and brave. Her fiery red hair mirrored the sunsets over the mesas, and her green eyes glimmered with determination. She had seen the ghost of Red Mesa once, when a gang attempted to raid the town's supply wagons. The masked rider had appeared out of the shadows, disarming the bandits and leaving them fleeing in terror. From that night, she had wondered about the man beneath the mask, mysterious, deadly, and heroic. One evening, while checking on livestock on the outskirts of Red Mesa, Alara noticed movement in the canyon. Outlaws, guns raised. Her heart raced, but before panic could consume her, a figure appeared like a wraith, riding with impossible speed. Dust swirled, gunshots rang, and in the chaos, Gideon Cross moved like a shadow incarnate, his revolvers flashing in the dim light. After the outlaws were subdued, Alara approached him cautiously. Who are you?" she asked, voice trembling yet curious. Gideon lowered his gaze, voice quiet and steady. "Someone who cannot let the innocent be harmed," he said. "Someone who cannot let you get hurt." There was something about his tone, the intensity in his eyes, that made her pulse quicken. That night, as Gideon disappeared into the darkness, Alara realized she had encountered a man both terrifying and mesmerizing. The town of Red Mesa had its own curious observer, Tommy Blake, a young journalist with a taste for adventure. He had tracked rumors of the ghost for weeks, determined to uncover the truth behind the masked vigilante. Unlike Gideon, Tommy sought fame. Unlike Gideon, he had never known the harsh bite of personal loss. Tommy quickly became entangled in the lives of Alara and Gideon. His presence created tension. Gideon, protective of both Alara and his secret, shadowed Tommy at every turn. Alara, intrigued by the young journalist, felt torn between admiration for his daring and growing concern for Gideon's safety. Yet, even with Tommy's interference, Gideon and Alara's bond grew stronger. Days were spent working together in town, repairing fences, tending to the wounded, and training in horseback riding. Nights were spent riding across the mesas, scouting for danger, and sharing quiet conversations by the fire. Every brush of a hand, every stolen glance, sent sparks flying between them. Gideon's past was a storm that never truly faded. Memories of the night his family was murdered haunted him. The gang leader, Baron Drell, had been part of the men who destroyed his life. The name alone made his blood boil. He had vowed to hunt them all, one by one, yet he had done so from the shadows, never allowing himself the luxury of connection or Luventil. Alara, unaware of the full extent of Gideon's pain, noticed glimpses of it. The way his jaw tightened at the mention of violence, the haunted look in his eyes when he paused at old ruins, the quiet moments where he seemed lost in memory. And yet, she did not recoil. She approached him slowly, offering trust and warmth. "I don't know who you really are," she said one evening by the campfire, "but I see you, not the mask, not the shadow, you." Gideon's hand hovered near hers, hesitant, his heart pounding. "I am a man who has nothing left. except the chance to protect you." Her smile was tender. "Then let me be part of it. Let me ride with you, fight with you. Don't face this alone." Red Mesa's peace was short-lived. Barandrel and his gang had discovered Gideon's presence and were determined to end him and take the town for themselves. One twilight, as Elara rode to gather water, they ambushed her. Gideon sensed danger, racing across the mesas like a storm. Dust swirled around him, bullets whizzed past, but his precision was unmatched. Elara, armed with the skills Gideon had taught her, defended herself with bravery. The fight was a blur of horses, gunfire, and dust. When Gideon finally reached her side, he took down the last of the gang, breathing heavily, eyes locking with hers. "You're fearless," he said, voice low, intense, and reckless. She smiled, heart racing. "And you're infuriatingly heroic." Days turned into weeks, and Gideon allowed himself to open up more to Elara. They shared stolen moments beneath the mesas, riding side by side, sharing stories of dreams, fears, and regrets. Each touch, each glance, deepened their connection. One night, during a quiet moment by a stream, Gideon finally removed his mask, letting Elara see the man beneath the scars, the pain and the intensity that defined him. Her eyes softened. "You don't have to hide from me," she whispered. "I see you." Gideon's hand brushed her cheek. "I've lived in shadows my whole life," he said, "but with you, I feel like I can walk in the light." Their lips met beneath the moonlit sky, a tender but passionate kiss, sealing their bond. From that moment, their love was no longer a secret, was a source of strength. Barandrel returned, larger and more ruthless than ever, leading a gang of men determined to destroy Gideon and claim Red Mesa. The town prepared for battle, and Gideon and Elara stood together, united. The fight was epic. Horses thundered across canyons, gunfire echoed through the night, and dust clouds painted the battle in shades of orange and gray. Gideon led the charge, his skill unmatched, while Elara fought beside him, fearless and determined. Tommy recorded it all, documenting the legend for the world to see. In the chaos, Gideon was hit by a bullet, his body thrown from his horse. Elara didn't hesitate. She raced to his side, her hands on his wound, refusing to leave him. Pain and fear flashed in his eyes, but he smiled faintly. "You're still here," he whispered. "Always," she replied. "I'm not leaving you. Not now, not ever." With the town rallying and Gideon recovering, they fought back and finally defeated Barandrel. The town of Red Mesa was free. The next morning, as the sun rose over the mesas, Gideon removed his mask for good. Elara stood beside him, hands entwined, hearts bound by battle, courage, and trust. "You've saved me in more ways than I can count," Gideon said, voice soft but steady. "And you've saved me," she replied, "from fear, from doubt, from thinking love couldn't survive in this wild land." Together, they rode across the mesas, the wind carrying their laughter, their love, and their freedom. The legend of the ghost of Red Mesa lived on not as a shadow of vengeance, but as a story of heroism, redemption, and enduring love. And so, in a land where the desert was harsh, the nights were cold, and danger lurked at every turn, Gideon Cross and Elara James proved that even the most haunted heart could find redemption. And even in the wildest West, love could conquer all. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more Western stories.